Ethics represents a pioneering convergence of the neuroscience and artificial intelligence designed to create a real-time mental state detector, capable of accompanying human life in its most personal, familial, social, and professional dimensions. At its essence, ethics is more than technology, it's a tool to keep 'em cool. A gift, the language of the mind. Gholam M.I. Chowdhury, M.S., Med., Ph.D. President, Ethics. Dr. Chowdhury's research is at the forefront of magnetic resonance spectroscopy and imaging. Mrs. and AMP, MRI, etc. Only mentally healthy well-being can hold humanity. Without humanity, a human is merely a body. This is the remarks of world's prominent neuroscientist at Yale School of Medicine, Dr. Gholam Chowdhury, Iqbal. Dr. Chowdhury's continued remarks are the followings. Humanity is not guaranteed by birth. It must be cultivated through mental well-being, ethical reflection, and compassionate action. This cultivation begins in the home, family, is reinforced by faith and education, childhood and adolescent, and is sustained by social systems that value the mind as much as the body. As the Holy Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Quran 13:11. A human body without humanity is merely a body or a tree without fruit, perhaps still alive, but offering no nourishment to the world. To hold humanity, we must first hold mental health as sacred, for only in a sound mind can the moral and spiritual essence of being human truly reside.
Mental health matters. Let's talk about it.
Mental health is a fundamental component of overall well-being. It encompasses emotional, psychological, and social well-being, influencing how individuals think, feel, and act. Mental health also determines how people handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. When mental health is compromised, it can lead to a variety of disorders that affect an individual's daily functioning, relationships, and quality of life. Understanding the importance of mental health is the first step to creating a happier, more productive life, living in harmony with neighbors, locally and globally.
Affecting daily life. Mental health plays a role in how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. Determines adaptability. It helps with stress, building relationships, and making important decisions. Mental health should not be ignored because its impact is just as important as physical health.
Common mental health issues. Mental health issues can affect anyone and come in many forms. Recognizing common types of disorders is an important step in raising awareness and seeking the help you need. You are not alone no matter what your situation is. Depression, major depressive disorder. Depression is one of the most prevalent mental health conditions globally. It is characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest or pleasure in most activities. Key symptoms include fatigue or low energy, disturbed sleep or oversleeping, changes in appetite or weight, difficulty concentrating, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, suicidal thoughts or behaviors. Scientific insight. Depression involves alterations in brain chemistry, particularly in neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. It can be triggered by genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors. Anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorders represent a group of conditions that involve excessive fear, worry, or nervousness. They include generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, phobias. Symptoms may include restlessness or feeling on edge, rapid heartbeat or palpitations, sweating and trembling, avoidance of feared situations, muscle tension and sleep disturbances. Clinical insight. Chronic anxiety can dysregulate the stress response system and alter brain function, particularly in the amygdala and prefrontal cortex. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and medications, e.g., SSRIs, are often effective.
Bipolar disorder. This disorder involves mood swings that range from depressive lows to manic highs. It has different types, including bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymic disorder. Manic phase symptoms: euphoria or irritability, increased activity or energy, rapid speech and racing thoughts, poor judgment or risky behavior. Depressive phase symptoms: low mood and fatigue, hopelessness and withdrawal, cognitive slowing. Scientific insight. Bipolar disorder has a strong genetic component and is associated with structural and functional changes in the brain, particularly in mood-regulating regions. Lithium and mood stabilizers are commonly prescribed. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. PTSD can develop after exposure to a traumatic event such as war, assault, natural disasters, or serious accidents. Symptoms include flashbacks or intrusive memories, nightmares, avoidance of reminders, hypervigilance and exaggerated startle response, emotional numbness. Scientific insight. PTSD is associated with heightened activity in the amygdala and decreased regulation from the prefrontal cortex. It may also involve dysregulation of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis. Obsessive-compulsive disorder (OCD). OCD involves intrusive thoughts, obsessions, and repetitive behaviors, compulsions, aimed at reducing anxiety related to those thoughts. Common themes: fear of contamination, doubts about safety or morality, need for symmetry or order. Neuroscientific basis. OCD is linked to dysregulation in the corticostriato-thalamocortical circuits. SSRIs and exposure response prevention (ERP) therapy or evidence-based treatments. Eating disorders. Eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder involve serious disturbances in eating behavior and related thoughts and emotions. Symptoms vary but may include obsessive concern with body image and weight, extreme restriction of food, binging followed by purging, malnutrition and associated physical issues. Clinical insight. These disorders are multifactorial, involving psychological, biological, and sociocultural influences. Early intervention is crucial for recovery. Attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. ADHD affects both children and adults. It is characterized by patterns of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Symptoms include difficulty sustaining attention, disorganization, fidgeting or restlessness, impulsive decision-making. Neuroscientific insight. ADHD involves delayed maturation and dysregulation in brain regions responsible for executive function, particularly the prefrontal cortex.
You are not alone no matter what your situation is. Schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. These involve distortions in thinking, perception, emotion, language, sense of self and behavior. Core symptoms: delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, flattened affect. Scientific insight. Schizophrenia is associated with structural and functional brain abnormalities and dysregulation in dopamine pathways. Antipsychotics and psychosocial support are foundational to treatment. Public health and social impact. Mental health disorders contribute significantly to global disease burden. Untreated mental illness can impair productivity, increase the risk of chronic diseases, lead to disability or premature death, affect families and communities. Integrated care, combining psychological, pharmacological, social, and lifestyle interventions, is essential for effective prevention and treatment. Moreover, public awareness.
Mental health awareness. Breaking the stigma and promoting mental health is an important part of our well-being. Let's come together to understand, appreciate, and support the importance of maintaining mental health for a happier and more productive life.
Demographic insights. Gender differences. Women are more likely to experience depression and anxiety, 50%, than men, 45%, while men are more likely to experience PTSD and pathological disorders. Demographic data provides important insights into the population groups most affected by mental health issues. These statistics help us understand the distribution of mental health issues by age, gender, and geographic region. By understanding these patterns, we can develop more effective strategies for prevention and treatment. Demographic data provides important insights into the population groups most affected by mental health issues. These statistics help us understand the distribution of mental health issues by age, gender, and geographic region. By understanding these patterns, we can develop more effective strategies for prevention and treatment. The impact of mental health issues. Mental health issues have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only individuals but also the broader community. These challenges can disrupt personal well-being, professional productivity, and social relationships. Understanding the impact is crucial for designing effective interventions to support mental health at all levels. Mental health issues affects the nearest members of family, local communities, affecting global economy. Breaking the stigma. Eliminating stigma is the first step toward improving the mental health of society. By fostering understanding and creating an inclusive environment, we can encourage more people to seek help and support. Educating the public. Provide information about the importance of mental health to dispel negative prejudices and misconceptions. Empower communities with knowledge to foster acceptance. Offer non-judgmental support. Listen to the stories of those in need without stigma or criticism. Create a safe space where individuals feel valued and understood. Prioritize mental health. Treat mental health as equally important as physical health. Advocate for policies and practices that promote mental well-being in all aspects of life.
Ways to improve mental health. There are many simple yet effective ways to enhance mental health. By incorporating small but meaningful changes into daily life, individuals can build resilience and foster emotional well-being. Engage in physical activity. Exercise, yoga, or even a leisurely walk can significantly reduce stress and improve mood. Physical activity promotes the release of endorphins, which enhance happiness and relaxation. Maintain healthy sleep and diet. Adequate rest and nutritious meals contribute to mental balance. A consistent sleep schedule and a balanced diet are essential for emotional stability and cognitive function. Foster social connections. Meeting with friends or family provides valuable emotional support. Building meaningful relations helps combat feelings of isolation and strengthens mental resilience.
Support systems and resources at Ethics Life. Keep it simple with Ethics. mentalhealthcare.ethics.net. Please be mindful during answering questions. I guarantee you would love to interact with our artificial intelligence mental health agent again and again. If you have an emergency and you're New York City residents, please call 212-684-3264 or helpline at naminyc.org. You can also visit omh.ny.gov/crisis/988. You're never alone, regardless of the situation you are in.
America in crisis. America's drug addiction crisis is more than a public health emergency. Can we overcome it by building strong family and faith structures recognized since ancient times, including the Islamic perspective? Drug addiction in the United States has reached proportions that go far beyond the boundaries of a medical diagnosis or a public health emergency. While the opioid epidemic and substance misuse crisis are measured in mortality rates, hospitalizations, and economic losses, estimated at over $700 billion annually in lost productivity, healthcare costs, and crime, its roots extend deep into the psychosocial fabric of the nation. Addiction is both a symptom and a driver of an unraveling societal tapestry, where isolation, alienation, and fragmented family structures leave individuals vulnerable to self-destructive coping mechanisms. 1. The socio-biological foundations of addiction vulnerability. Neuroscience has established that addiction is not merely a matter of willpower, it is a brain disease that hijacks the reward circuitry, primarily the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, altering motivation, memory, and decision-making. However, these neurobiological changes do not emerge in a vacuum. They are potentiated by environmental deprivation, chronic stress, early life trauma, and absence of strong social bonding. The Adverse Childhood Experiences, ACE, studies demonstrate that individuals with disrupted early family environments are exponentially more likely to develop substance use disorders. This highlights a crucial point: family and social cohesion function as both neurodevelopmental scaffolds and lifelong protective factors. A child who experiences secure attachment, consistent caregiving, and moral guidance develops not only emotional resilience but also neurobiological stability, reducing susceptibility to addictive behaviors. 2. Philosophical and historical reflections on the role of family and faith. From Aristotle's concept of oikos as the nucleus of the polis to Confucian filial piety, civilizations have long recognized that a strong family structure is the primary unit of societal stability. Faith traditions, including Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, enshrine family as a divinely mandated institution, bound by mutual responsibility, moral discipline, and community integration. Islamic social ethics, for instance, emphasize Silat al-Rahim, maintaining kinship ties, and tazkiyah, self-purification, integrating moral restraint with collective responsibility. By fostering an environment in which individuals are seen as accountable to both God and their community, faith-based systems historically served as powerful deterrents to behaviors destructive to self and society. This moral scaffolding provided both meaning and belonging, two psychological buffers against existential despair, which is often at the heart of addiction. 3. Ecological and community-level implications. Sociological studies reveal that communities with high social capital, where neighbors trust one another, families are intact, and local institutions are engaged, experience markedly lower rates of substance abuse. This is partly because drug epidemics are not just biochemical but ecological phenomena. They flourish where there are social deserts, environments stripped of positive role models, meaningful work, and intergenerational continuity. From an agricultural analogy, just as healthy soil resists invasive species, healthy social ecosystems resist the spread of addiction. Disconnection from family and faith is akin to stripping the land of its protective cover, leaving it vulnerable to erosion. Here, the erosion of moral boundaries and personal purpose. 4. Mental health, early education, and lifelong resilience. The interplay between early education, childhood friendships, and familial bonding forms a preventive web that supports mental health. A stable early environment teaches emotional regulation, empathy, and impulse control, all essential in resisting the lure of substances that promise instant gratification. Longitudinal research, such as the Harvard study of adult development, confirms that close relationships, not wealth or fame, are the strongest predictors of long-term happiness and health. Moreover, religious frameworks, particularly those integrating daily rituals, shared meals, and intergenerational gatherings, offer structured rhythms that counteract the chaos and aimlessness fueling addiction cycles. 5. Economic and environmental dimensions. Drug addiction devastates the economy not just through healthcare burdens but by eroding the labor force, destabilizing families, and draining community resources. From an environmental perspective, the drug trade, both illicit and pharmaceutical, often leaves a trail of ecological harm, from chemical waste in water systems to overharvesting of precursor plants. Building sustainable, family-centered communities indirectly contributes to environmental stewardship. Communities grounded in intergenerational care are less likely to exploit their surroundings recklessly, mirroring the principle of amana, trust, in Islamic thought, where humans are stewards of the earth. 6. Towards a solution. Integrating science, faith, and family. Overcoming the addiction crisis requires more than naloxone distribution or expanded rehabilitation centers. These are necessary but insufficient without rebuilding the human environment, family strengthening programs, parenting support, intergenerational housing, and marriage preparation. Faith-based and ethical education, moral literacy from childhood, integrating secular knowledge with ethical frameworks. Community cohesion initiatives, public spaces, cooperative agriculture, and local mentorship networks. Economic security, stable employment opportunities that give individuals purpose and reduce stress-related vulnerabilities. In Islamic moral philosophy, Islah al-Nafs, self-reformation, is inseparable from Islah al-Mujtama, community reformation. Healing the individual and healing society are two sides of the same process. Conclusion. America's drug addiction crisis is not merely a problem of substance misuse. It is a crisis of disconnection, of human beings severed from the protective bonds of family, faith, and community. Science tells us that social integration is a neurological shield against despair. History tells us that civilizations thrive when their smallest units, the family, are strong. Religion tells us that moral grounding is as necessary as bread. To address this crisis, we must look beyond prescriptions and policies to the very architecture of belonging, restoring the ancient pillars of familial love, spiritual purpose, and communal responsibility that have sustained humanity across millennia. Only then can we hope to transform this epidemic into an era of renewal.
The role of community public health and social impact. Mental health disorder contributes significantly to global disease burden. Untreated mental illness can impair productivity, increase the risk of chronic diseases, lead to disability or premature death, affect families and communities. Open conversations encourage honest and open communication about mental health issues to create a supportive environment. Organize a block party, community outreach from local religious institutions, medical clinics, and mobilize local admins. Social and educational activities engage the community in social activities and educational programs that promote emotional wellness and awareness of mental health issues. Communities play a vital role in supporting an individual's mental health. A supportive environment can help reduce stigma and provide a sense of security for individuals in need of help. With active involvement, communities can be a valuable source of emotional support. Communities play a vital role in supporting an individual's mental health. This collective effort can also raise awareness of the importance of mental health.
Mental health is a complex, multidimensional aspect of human life that requires attention, compassion, and scientific rigor. Common mental health disorders vary in symptoms and severity, but all demand timely recognition and holistic care. Enhancing mental health literacy, reducing stigma, and integrating mental health into public health frameworks are critical steps toward building healthier societies.
Human habitats of our world hope to live in peace and harmony. Therefore, we are ready and willing to take on the test of our time. I am MZ Kadri Shapon, CEO at Ethics.
Life, keeping it simple with ethics. Hope you would do the same. Thank you and appreciate you listening.